Okay, so today I'm very happy to welcome Johanna Zielinski in my podcast. It's the first time that we do it in English, simply because she speaks English, and I'm fortunate enough to be fluent in this language, so we can carry on this conversation that actually saw its birth during a random encounter with you last week. No, we were actually updating each other on what's going on, right. And you told me about an article that you're writing, or that you're about to publish very soon. It's about longevity, health, and there are specifically 5 regions in the world where citizens, or actually people, live a healthy and long, we're talking about over 100 years, lives. And so this obviously triggers my imagination because, first of all, the philosophical question of, does it make any sense to actually aim at eternity? This is one thing. And with all the social implications, etc., etc. But also, how are we, the civilized societies, the top of the pyramid kind of population in the world, how are we doing in this regard? If you can give us some hints in that, specifically Germany and Switzerland, because they're the 2 regions that you know quite well. Right. And then where are the threats? So where is the main pain points, and what are the opportunities? What can we learn from these guys? So Joe, from now on, Johanna is Joe. You are a copywriter. You are a psychologist. Soon you will be awarded.
My certificate, right?
You get your certificate.
Yes.
You are a model. You are a nutritionist.
Right.
You are a personal coach. And well, that's quite a lot.
Yes,
no?
I have many interests, and I don't.
You have many interests, but that combines very well because one activity supports the other, and vice versa, I think.
Right.
No.
Right.
And so, please tell me.
So, as you said, I'm writing many articles also for doctors and experts. And so I also decided to do like personal coaching, because that's what I learned from the scientific. I can totally put into daily life. I can teach people or show people how they could change, how they can adopt with their lifestyle, and that's what I really like, because it's very like an active activity. Yeah, it's not only writing; it's like the
you make a difference.
Yeah, that's right.
You make a difference.
And so, getting back to the longevity, I think it's an aim for many people to get old, but also in a fit way. And that's what in the 5 regions, it's very important that all the people that get like 100 or 100 plus or 90, that they're also healthy, they're fit, and they have like a purpose in life, and they're happy. And I think that's what every one of us likes, or most people like to achieve.
Of course.
And I found it very interesting because I saw this article from Dan Büttner. He's a journalist, and he was looking at these 5 regions. So there's one, Okinawa, Japan. The other one is Sardinia, Italy. Then Icaria, Greece. Nicoya, Costa Rica. And Loma Linda in California. And he found they have like a little different nutrition, but they have many common traits that he was finding. So that's what I found is very interesting. So, for example, they have like a moderate movement for the day.
They don't move a lot?
No, they're not going to fitness studios. They don't know it, I think so. They live like maybe up in the mountains, close to the sea. So there's like I would say like more than an old-fashioned lifestyle, but they have access to clear water, to medicine, so they still have hospitals around. But they have like the traditional lifestyle, and they're very linked to their family. They have a lot of social communication going on. The youngers taking care of the elderly, so it's like a community.
Like it used to be here, it's the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they take care of each other, and they include each other, even the elderly. There was like a 99-year-old man who still does every day his honey, going to the bees and still, so yeah.
Because I was thinking about when we started talking, and I started thinking about what we could actually, we could actually tackle this argument, which is really interesting. I was thinking, but in our society, most of the time, I would say 90% plus of the situations don't see elderly living together with the kids, with their kids and grandkids and stuff. So there isn't this sharing of experiences and knowledge and empathy, compassion. Most of the time, the elderly are parked in these facilities where they are treated. But I don't want to judge anything, but it's a very sad
I think the
way to end your life, especially because it's obviously it's expensive for the community. You know, I mean, keeping people this long in that situation means a lot of costs that are to be distributed among all the taxpayers, or indirectly through the insurance companies that we have to pay, the health insurance companies that you have to pay every month. And also this year in Switzerland, in Ticino, will increase quite dramatically because the population is aging, etc. But they're not aging well, apparently. You know?
And studies show that elderly people, when they're connected, when they have like social connections, communication, when they have their family around, friends, they're healthier, they're getting older, you know. So it's also like it's like a public problem, because when you put someone aside and you live your own life, like more, you know, that's how the modern lifestyle is. Everyone can serve himself. We have access to everything. Every time, I think, any time. And
is that the key to happiness and success? I don't think so, because we're going from a model of big families, you know, with all the downsides. And I'm not saying that it's the solution.
You always have good and bad things.
You always have the good and bad, exactly. You need to minimize the bad and maximize the good. In this case, experience, and especially when you have young kids, having the opportunity to have the grandparents actually taking care of them a little bit, you know, would be of great help. I've seen it with my son and my mother-in-law. I mean, amazing support to my wife, and that is really valuable. At the same time, though, you need to have your intimacy. You can't really just share. In 2020, you can't really share the same roof. But if you could start thinking about communities and families in a way that actually work together and participate, and elderly are not seen as a problem after they're retired.
The point. I think that's the point, because in other cultures, I think Thailand also, it's also a country where they have more respect concerning the elderly, where they they're happy for their achievements. They say, oh wow, I also want to have like a long life like you. And it's like an example. And here it's like more old, elderly.
But you said that in those regions now, I think the one in I don't know where the guy, 99 years old, that is still doing his honey. Where is that?
In Sardinia.
Ecco, in Sardinia.
Yes.
I mean, this guy is doing honey. We can say that is a lucrative activity still, you know. So I thought to myself quite a lot before meeting you today, and at the end of the day, if I need to specify one thing that my life should be, is I need to be useful.
Right. So
you know,
that's the purpose, and that's
anything. But just be useful. Don't be a burden to anyone, and do something that people might need, not might want, might need. I mean, this guy is doing honey. I take the example of my father. He's doing his own passions with my mom, even if they're done. I mean, they're above 70, but they're still active. They're useful. You know, they keep activities alive, and they have they fulfill a need. You know, And most of the time, people just reach retirement. They're like, "Oh, finally, I'm off."
Yeah.
But then they lose purpose completely.
Yes, because they don't have a structure anymore. They didn't build a structure before, or they didn't pursue their hobbies or something. They just work overload, and then it's like a hole. And you're there, and you think, okay, what am I going to do?
What am I going to do
What
now?
am I going to do? Because also when you, for example, when you're like a workaholic and you didn't take care much of your family, you miss the many events, many, opportunities to connect. Then you retire and you say, okay, I made a lot of money, or I have this nice house, but what am I going to do? I'm alone, I have this house.
I still have 30 plus years to live.
Right.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
People might just go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, depression is there. Then if your head is not right, your body will feel it as well. So you will have some pain, some problems, some health complications because your mind is not focused. It's not focused on a purpose, like you just said.
Yeah, and when you don't have someone to listen to it, I think often it helps us a lot if you have someone around who just listens to what is on our mind. And if you don't have that when you're alone, or when you didn't connect before, and you don't have really true friends or some family members that really say, okay, come on, what's on your mind? So you have to work it out on yourself, and I think that can be very tough. Yeah.
So you said that in these 5 regions, we have this very strong, active and osmotic kind of community that keeps on exchanging information, value among them. So it's a small community that is built upon some shared common values. Of course, that is clear, and that they bring, let's say, the heritage onwards through all the generations. Maybe 3-4 generations live very close nearby, and they support each other without any third entity stepping in, like the government, for example.
No, right.
We take care of each other. It's a close community, which is obviously open to the rest, but the core is closed. And then you also mentioned the fact that they live within a natural environment, like ancestral kind of environment. So raw, let's say.
It's more raw, and compared to our environment,
which is artificial.
Artificial. You have less noise there. You don't have artificial light. It's like you have the nature. You just go out, and you don't have all that stress too. Like that. I have to be on time. It's not that stressed. You have to do your work, but it's not that rushing through the day.
So it's this thing about connection with nature.
Right.
Because this thing, it's important. And then you have purpose. So these 3 things built up together create, let's say, family, size, I would say, because if you are size and...
you mean like a big city or small town?
Well, well, size is in both in a quite large family. No, because a family, for example, of 2 or 3, it's different than a family of 15.
Right.
You have different kind of resources coming in that can be shared. I
can tell my mom has 7 sisters and brothers, so I have, I don't know, 30 cousins all around the world.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. My mom has 7. Used to have 7 brothers and sisters. My father 3. I have 2. My son 1, 0.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of a shrinkage, and that is also because I've been working like a dog.
Yeah.
Like crazy for the past 15 years, and there wasn't really time for anything.
Yeah.
I was in the workaholic kind of mode. Because I thought that was it.
It's accepted in the society.
I've been wired
great.
I've been wired like that. High school, college, best college, hotel, école hôtelière, bam, down, start working, bam. Start working and then build up, and then you realize what you said before, that you need to develop the many personas that you host within yourself.
Yes.
So not just the entrepreneur or the psychologist or the doctor or whatever it is, but also yourself, the husband, the father, the friend, the sport guy, the adventure guy, the whatever guy.
Right.
No? And this makes a quite strong link with the past in a way. But what about nutrition?
Nutrition, they also find.
What do they eat, these guys?
It's mostly plant-based. So they eat meat and fish and also milk, products with milk, but very not a lot. Just on top. And
when it happens.
Sorry?
When it happens.
Right. What happens?
That you have meat. No? They eat meat when they can.
When they can.
When it happens.
Yeah. When it happens. Maybe they have like their cow or, they cultivate.
That's exactly like my grandparents used to eat.
Yes.
I remember the Sunday roast. The Sunday roast. Well, I lived in a restaurant, so for me it's different. But if I go back to my mom's, that didn't have a restaurant, basically it was a plant-based diet from the garden, not from the supermarket.
That's also important.
Exactly.
You grow your own.
You grow your own, and then on Sunday you celebrate with a rabbit, with a pig, with a veal, a lamb, whatever it is.
Right.
No.
Yeah, some kind of that. And for example, in Okinawa in Japan, they also have like a rule that they only eat until they're 80% full. So they don't eat like, no, I need some more. No, they stop. And they say, I feel okay, so I just stop. 80% is enough. And in other areas, for example, they stop in the afternoon or early evening. They just stop eating. So it's a little bit like a little fasting. So your body has many hours to adopt, to digest and
take all.
Right.
Right. Okay.
That's also like
fasting.
Very common in the 5 regions. Yeah. And for the what's interesting, the Loma Linda in California. So it might be surprising that you find something like that in America, in American society, and it's just because it's like a community, a religious community that lives there. In between the American lifestyle, but they have like their own rules, their own community.
They're like the Amish, kind of.
Kind of. So you can imagine like that. So they have like but it's like the religion that keeps them together.
The values that we said before.
The values. Also in other regions, spirituality, religion is very also something that adds.
Gives purpose.
Gives purpose, yes. And
can you tell me which religion is it? Like canonic, but still Christians.
Yeah, it's like the 7 Days Adventists. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from that church, and they eat mostly vegetarian. It's not forbidden to eat meat, but most of them they only eat like a vegetarian diet.
And this is because of scarcity or because of belief?
Belief, and that they have like this community, they grow their own plants. It's like that belief,
Because I think men and women alike, of course, need to have a extremely varied diet. You can't just eat plants or I don't think on the long term makes sense to just get rid of meat completely.
You can, but you have to be really like an expert. Because then you have to know, okay, where can I take my protein? Where do I get my fat? Which fat is good, which not? So omega-3 is really good. If you choose to eat plants but only eat like fries or something like that, it's or chocolate, something like that. It's
a joke.
It can be like plant-based, but it's not. It doesn't give you the nutrients that you need.
Of course.
So it depends. You have to be like very aware of it. I think you can do that lifestyle, but you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, because I've seen some very bad end up very badly. Some people ended up very badly. Like there was this vegan influencer that just died at the age of 40. She turned anorexic and she was really a maniac, a Taliban on vegan, and she just died.
Yeah.
You know, because the body needed also the animal fat, the animal proteins.
Right.
They needed this, and you know, sometimes I even understand the point, and I'm totally up for it, for banning high intensity farming.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff is terrible.
Yes.
Firstly, ethically speaking, is a disaster.
Yes.
Because they're still conscious beings, but especially because if you treat the animal bad, he will treat you bad afterwards. You know, if you give him just some antibiotics and some flour to eat in a space that is 2 times 2,
Right. You put
what kind of meat are you gonna eat?
Put it in your body too.
Exactly.
Right.
But what about? Of course, it's cheaper. You know, of course, it's cheaper to produce like T-bone steaks like that.
Yeah.
The problem is, as you said, is what you put in your body that matters. It's not like a detail, and we said that in this podcast quite a lot of times. Price is the universal language that tells you the quality of a product. Sometimes it's pushed. I'm not saying it's the management of scarcity, you know, supply and demand, all these kind of dynamics, which are more than understandable. But the problem is that people don't understand that you need to be very careful when you buy, let's say, a piece of meat for a very cheap price.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what's the hidden cost?
Is it possible to?
It's not possible.
It's not possible, right?
Somebody paid the price.
Yeah.
The beef or the cattle, for the matter, and yourself. Maybe not now, but in 10 years, 20 years, there will be lots of serious problems.
Right. And what you mentioned with the influencer, so she got anorexia.
You know her?
No, but you told me that she got anorexia. So it's a psychological disease. It's the disease. It's, that's a problem. It's not that she has this disease. It's not because she's eating vegan, but she did it too extreme. She's sleeping because I'm still doing modeling, and in my early years of modeling I saw so many beautiful women that when the agent said, okay, you have to lose a lot of weight because otherwise you don't fit in the clothes, and they would go they would have bulimia, they would fall into anorexia, and for me it was like really, really tough to see this, because someone else tells you how your body should look like. And especially young girls that fall into these diseases made me really, really sad to see it.
Oh, I remember. I remember it was this phenomena was like 25 years ago. It exploded on the fashion industry, etc.
Yeah.
Then where it's going right now with body acceptance, it's I think completely wrong, because you cannot tell me that an obese person is body positivity, so you're differently healthy. That doesn't make any sense to me. If someone is obese, is sick and needs to be treated. In my opinion, obesity is a huge problem. But at the same time, what happened there is a complete disaster. Sometimes societies should. If you are on a billboard, wearing a beautiful dress, and you are lucky and disciplined enough to have a beautiful body that showcases the beauty of the dress, well, this shouldn't be the benchmark of how the average Joe or Johanna should look like. This is the zenith of beauty according to our standards, and it shows you like a model to aim to, according to your own personal characteristics. I will never be the copy of Cristiano Ronaldo's body, for example, but what I can aim at is something that fits with my life and try to be as healthy as possible, but not living like a maniac like this guy.
Yeah.
You know,
it can be. It's also extreme. It can be take very extreme traits when you try to adopt to something like that. So
this is also a reason why you started covering like coaching. I mean, your experience as a model gave you some kind of food for thought for this coaching and psychology, nutrition.
Yes, because for me it was always I was modeling and I was studying, so I had like something that grounded me, and I was also in the modeling business. And for me it was very important to have that grounding, because otherwise, when you're always judged by your body, it's you can really get depressed. I mean, you can tell yourself, okay, I'm fine, it's okay, you know, oh, maybe but it's always this competition, and you have to find like some self-worth, some self-trust in yourself. And when you're young, you just develop. I think you just develop from time to time. Some girls, they already have builds, but not everyone, you know, can build it from the beginning.
Of course.
So it's
the competition must be.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Women are very competitive.
Oh, it can be very
brutal.
Brutal. No, it can be really competitive. Yeah.
Like, do you have an example? How bad it can be?
So for example, just the looks. I mean, just how they talk. It's obvious how they talk behind your back, and they look and they say, "Oh, well, why did they take her? I mean, look at her. We don't see." And afterwards, when you see the pictures, I mean, it's like a team that builds that picture. So you have a makeup artist, you have a stylist, you have the photograph, you have all the assistants. The hair is done, everything. So it's like art. It's like
of course.
Yeah, and so they judge.
But the point is not to emphasize. Well, we do, but the point is not to emphasize the body of the woman. The body of the woman, of the model, is the perfect vehicle to highlight the dress, the makeup, the hair. Shoes, whatever she's wearing or he is wearing. No, so
it's like a lot of gossip, you know.
It's just
from other people say, "Oh, she don't have the measurements. Why did they take?" Or something like that, you know. So it's something.
Well, if you hear that, it can be 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 times. It can be devastating.
Right, and also when you go to castings and you get rejected in Milano, when you have like, I don't know, 10, 15 castings a day, you rush from one client to another and you always get rejections. Like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
You give up.
You have to be like, and you have to have something else that keeps you together. And you have to build it inside yourself, but also friends and family and other people around are very important to keep you grounded. Yeah,
because most of the time it's a very short career, is it?
Right. I mean, some models, they really know how to do marketing and how to, you know, so it's they're very smart also with business. So
I know, but it's more like football players, for example, athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their peak in the 20-30, and then 30-40 they prepare for the after, and just 5%, 3%, 10% maximum will become coaches or owners or investors or something else. Others will just find themselves in a situation where they don't really know. Okay, I've been under the spotlights for all my life. Now nothing because I don't play anymore. What am I gonna do? If you haven't built anything, and this connects with, this connects with these 5 regions. If you have just fed one persona out of the many that live in you, then you will surely end up in a bad position sooner or later.
Yes, because you have set everything on one horse.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. It doesn't work like that. And it's not easy, because it's not at all easy to first realize it, second to follow all the personas, because you're like, I'm wasting my time, you know. Like my experience. What the hell am I doing? When COVID hit and I couldn't work because different from other industries. I mean, we were shut down, and people, how am I going to serve people from my home to their home?
Right.
It's not possible. Right. And so I had the time to start rediscovering certain personas in my life, in myself. And this gave me, when the COVID crisis ended, that even though business started as usual, I kept those personas alive. This is one of the reasons why I'm talking at this moment, you know. And instead of opening a restaurant a week, it was becoming crazy. Yeah. No,
and I think in the 5 regions it's like the same. They might have another purpose as we do in the modern society, but they say, okay, this also from the religion, they say, okay, I live my religion and I'm serving God or something like that. And so they go on and say, okay, my life is dedicated to God.
All of them?
No, just maybe in Loma Linda. And the others, they have other spiritual, it's not only, the one religion.
And here, and now that we try we've basically designed these 4 common traits. Let's say, first of all is family, purpose.
Right.
Then is values, so spirituality is connection to nature,
right?
And movement. So rhythm of nature. So we follow the flows of
also
nature.
The sleep cycle.
Exactly.
Have very good sleep cycles.
And then nutrition.
Nutrition and also the movement.
And movement.
Yeah, they don't do fitness studio high activity. They do moderate, but every day.
Every day.
So, for example, they go out with the sheeps. And they take care of them like the whole day, and then they go back. So they walk a lot. And
no, of course. But would you live like that? If you're not, because that's the big question. The trade-off. But honestly, I found myself asking myself this question many times. Like, would I ever be secluded somewhere in fuck land, where nobody's around me and I'm just there alone taking care of myself? I
must say honestly, maybe for 6 months or a year, to do like meditation stuff, to really push myself out of this world and just to zero, just to live a totally different life. It would be interesting. It would be a good challenge for me, I would say. But in the real life, or like in the modern life now, we have a different work style. We have another style.
But do we really need to work this much if we obey to those 5 common traits that we just said? The question is, does it make any sense? The increase in speed and the decrease in quality life that we're pursuing constantly, relentlessly in our modern society to just explode? Is it, or it makes sense? Maybe, I don't know. Because we live exactly in this, because Germany, Switzerland, come on, what's better than that? According to the official rankings, right. Switzerland is top 5, Germany is top 10 in everything, basically. No, but still, there's something wrong.
Right. But many companies, they do more like work. Now they found out work-life balance is very important. So they give startups, they give their employees more time, more flexibility and stuff. So I think there can be a change now. If they, if more companies follow. Yeah,
but not all industries can apply to this kind of business model.
That's right.
Right. And especially if you consider the not minor intervention of the government. Because if you allow societies to develop and engage among themselves in a free and bottom-up approach, you will find these solutions coming spontaneously where everybody is kind of okay with it. But today with the government stepping in, taking taxes from the taxpayers to support people that don't reach the end of the month because they don't work, because they want this work-life balance, because they want this and this and that, but still live according to our standards, that create, on the long run, a burden that cannot be sustained.
Yeah, I think the structures need to be adopted, you know. It's good that the government can do some rules, you know, that it's not only everything is free, you know.
No, of course.
So, yeah.
Of course,
so
absolutely.
It's good that but it has to be adopted. Also, it starts also with the school system, other things. It's,
Well, yeah,
it needs
school.
to be adopted. Yeah.
School is a big question mark.
Yes.
Because what happens when, in your opinion, what happens when you have your family that has a certain set of values that are unquestionable. They're just like there.
Yes.
It's like sun, moon.
Set in stone.
That's how it is. And then you send your kid to school, and then somehow, instead of teaching how Switzerland was born and 2 + 2 is 4 and etc., there is some sort of an indoctrination or some sort of a pollution in that kind of values, you know, that identify the family. What do you think about that? Because if you go there, you break the first, and I would say the most important trait of longevity and long and happy life, which is community. And community, not a neighborhood or a small town. We're talking about like a 10 to 20 people community, which is the family.
Right, and friends.
Family and friends.
The family that you choose can also be the family that you choose. The circles that you choose. They also found out that the people in the 5 zones, they choose healthy surroundings.
What do you mean?
Either they're born inside healthy societies, like they do the lifestyle that they're living in the blue zones, or they pick friends, people around them that they think that contribute to health. So their own health, that they feel useful people, where they're happy, where they can grow, and I think that's something. And for the school, I would say still the family is very important to teach the kids other values in life, you know, and to stand behind the kid. And there will always be external influences, always in the whole life. But when you have like a ground, where you know there's trust and where you can stand out, it's I think that's very important.
So in those communities, the communities themselves provide education to the kids. That's what you're saying. Or there are still schools and institutions like government-based?
Really, I don't know how this is structured. So I haven't read about this one. I'm not into that one. But as I say, like from the structure, from the people that are around, like from young age to old age, that they have like, they together. They have like a community.
But what's the size of these communities?
It can be like a family of many generations. It could be like, as you said, 10, 20, more like it could be like a whole village that you say. It's
of course.
The village that holds them together,
Well, that must be an interesting case study to see how we can actually do that. Because here, on the other end, we go towards, in Western societies nowadays, you see that we're going exactly in the opposite direction.
Right.
We're going towards the individualisation. Even a child is a problem. A mate is a problem.
Yes.
Now it's I'm enough for myself and myself only. Who cares? I want to satisfy my primary instinct. I want to have and not to be.
I think it's extreme because I think what is good is that nowadays there's a lot of talk about self-worth, self-acceptance, how you grow yourself. And I think this is important, but you have to see how it affects your surroundings, and then you have to still keep connected, because it's also good for your health. Otherwise, it's one-way street. It's like you're a workaholic when you always look like, how I look, blah, blah, blah. body, spirituality, but you don't share it. You don't have someone who's...
Of course, you do it for who, for what? What's the purpose?
Right.
Because we do that. I mean, if you look at the numbers, I mean, you look at the phenomena that are happening right now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you share it with me, but sometimes you have the feeling that instead of trying to build these cores, which are the families, there is instead another phenomena happening. Actually, is breaking those families by putting male and female in opposite, or let's say even like fighting for the same spot, leaving one completely empty. No, so basically turning men in. I don't want to say turning men into women and vice versa. What I'm trying to say is that the role of one is easily exchangeable. Well, it isn't.
That's true.
You know, it isn't.
Yes.
It just doesn't happen.
Yes.
You are wired in a way, I'm wired in a different way. I cannot rewire myself. And this applies to 99.9% of the population, not 50% of the population. And if you break that, which is the basis upon which you build the family that then grows and then connects with other families and then creates the community that allows you to live happy and healthy for over 100 years, why are we going in that direction? I mean, why are we trying to put, why is this happening?
I mean,
why do we allow that to happen on the first place? And we live in a godless society. That is also true.
And also there's like a trend that often food gets a religion now. You know, many people, also influencers in the media, they say, oh, you know, I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian. Oh no, I'm pescatarian or something like that. You know, and I have this diet, so I'm keto, I'm this and that. So it's like
a way to label yourself.
Yeah, a way to label, and I think that also internet, the media, technology, it's in such a speed. It builds up and builds up like every year. KI is coming now. I mean, or it's already there, and it's. I think it's also subliminal. I mean, with the medias, also Instagram, when you scroll through, there are many subliminal messages that come into your mind and say, oh no, I want to have this life and that life, and it shows, oh, it's a beautiful place and beautiful car, and you have the status symbols in our society. May it be a car, may it be a house, may it be the job title or something like that. It's very important. And I mean, I think it's normal that humans compete, and I think it's also good because at the end you get better and better and better. But it depends where we're going. I just think about KI, I don't know. I mean, or AI, artificial intelligence, in German KI, künstliche Intelligenz. So I'm like really, yeah.
It's a tool, Joe, honestly speaking. I mean, artificial intelligence is a fascinating, incredible, I would say, achievement of human genius and cooperation, for sure. Lots of work has been put into it, but like anything, like a knife, like anything, it's a tool that helps you pursue a purpose.
Right.
You know, if you put the citizen in the middle as a center, as the epicenter of any development, then you will put artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, internet, knives, and shovels at complete support of the citizen, of course. But at the same time, a knife can stab you in the back. AI can replace you. Internet of Things can control you. Blockchain can expose you. Crypto can shut you off the grid. And you don't have anything anymore if you take the CDBCs. But yeah, of course.
And we depend.
That's how it is.
We're late. I mean, humans are lazy.
Yeah.
You know. And then you get used to it.
Yeah.
You depend on technology, on your internet. Oh, when it's not working, you get angry. You know.
You go crazy.
Throw smartphone out of the window because there's no connection or something like that. So it's, yeah. you get used to, you get like
it's always a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Right.
And in my opinion, if and again, I mean, I don't want the government to take these decisions for me.
Yes.
And I would like to have many, and I think there are many citizens that are aware of this thing and not forcefully scared about it.
Yes.
I mean, just like aware of what it is. I want to use it for my own good. And then if I'm good, who's next to me will be good. This is how it works. If I'm bad and I'm vilified, I'm down, how can I spread positivity around me?
Right.
If I feel good, then I'm ready to support, help, and be contagious, positively speaking.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that these tools should be put at complete service of the citizens. But then then you end up with an empowered, with a free, independent, healthy citizen.
Right.
That if you add to this maybe a more wealth, so the work that you do is not stolen from taxing anything, everything, all the time, then it's complicated to govern citizens like that. How can you actually try to confine or dictate laws and agendas on people that are standing tall and strong, and they're healthy, they're financially independent, they own their land, they own their food chain, they know who they look up to, they know why they do stuff,
Right.
How? What if you turn man into woman and woman into man, and you split everything, you leave them alone on the black mirror, there is just one truth, and that truth comes from my media, and everything, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, and we just go like that.
That's all it's a lot of input that we have nowadays in the modern society. In the 5 regions, they're like
off the grid.
Out of the media. I don't know if they're completely, but they're quite away from it. So they live their life, a simple life, and they're happy with it. They have their family.
Is that simple?
I would say it's a life that where you know where it starts and where it ends. Okay, and I want to climb up that ladder, and this is my purpose, and your surroundings. There might be changes, but not so many changes. Like in the modern world, you have like this and this. Oh, the next PlayStation. I don't know that other technologies come up, and smart homes, stuff like that. And we're traveling around the world, and they don't have it, but they're happy at their place. They found something where they say, "Hey, it's good. I have good food. I can grow up my own things that I want to eat." And I'm surrounded by the people I love, and I'm doing, I'm moving, I'm in nature, and
I'm loved, and I love,
right,
which is pretty good as a feeling.
Yes, right. The acceptance, the love, the respect, and I think that's when you have so many influences that we have nowadays, you can get really confused. You don't know. Also, with for example, obesity. You have a lot of obesity, and which leads to diabetes, to other health problems, really huge health problems that cost like millions of euros, Swiss francs. And it's because everything is available and the people take it, but they don't know, they don't have the feeling what is good for me. They want, they try. They say, oh, nice, oh, new product, oh yeah, I'm gonna take, oh, it's better than the last one. And often they don't look at the ingredients.
No.
Artificial coloring, all this stuff. And then a few years later, maybe, yes, fast food, or the processed, it makes our life easier. Also processed food, sugary food. Oh, when the kids scream, you just give them a chocolate bar. Afterwards they maybe explode more. But for the moment, they're happy. But it's like, it's the short-term It's not. It's really a short-term thing. It's not that long-term thing. It's really when I speak about it, I think it's really interesting because usually, we have like a long-term society. We get quite old, and we think economically. We think like long-term, but to our body,
we don't. Give a fuck.
because our body. Also, when we're young, we don't get a quick answer. We get it maybe over years. Maybe we get obesity. Then we know, something went really wrong. And then our blood measurements, they're not good. And then we have to change our diets or lifestyle, something like that. It's not immediately. It's not when you eat a hamburger, the next day you feel like really sick or you think, oh, no, what have I done to my body? You get
True.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's a silent development, and that's very tricky, I think, and that's why.
And society still, the grocery stores, the shopping malls, and the advertising, the media, the marketing, etc., is in a way, but especially when we were kids.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the days.
Yes.
I mean, it was bombarding.
Right.
I mean, the top shelves were where the more toxic junk food was.
Yes.
I mean, drink sodas. I mean, there's still people drinking like lots of Coke, lots of Fanta and stuff like that. Red Bull. I'm like, dude. Why?
Mixed with alcohol.
No.
Not a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. And I'm asking myself, why? I mean, if the government really cares about us, why the hell is it allowing this and then busting balls on other stuff?
Right. But what get into my mind is that in Japan, for example, the government in this way, like from the movement and stuff, they really are concerned that their people are healthy. So they have like sport programs. They animate them to do sport. So their societies.
No, but also here, and I'm sure also in Germany. I mean, the promotion of an healthy lifestyle, I see it in kids. Sometimes is different from the 5 regions. Here is overdone. Gym every day.
Yes.
The kid is 5 years old. He goes on Monday piano, Tuesday scherma, Wednesday football, then tennis, then violin, then I don't know, and he's 5.
Yes.
I mean, I know kids like that.
Yeah.
I know parents of kids like that, and legitimate. I'm not saying, but sometimes it's simply because you don't know where to put your kid because you're busy. So let's just put in and do some activities. And this guy, I mean, the right to be bored, I think it's an absolute right of a kid to just get bored.
Yes.
Sometimes my son is like, I'm bored. I'm like, so?
Yes, great. Great.
Who cares, man? I'm not your entertainer. I'm your father. Find yourself something to entertain yourself with,
But that's where creativity comes
exactly
from. Right.
You don't know what to do.
You always have input, you don't have to think.
Exactly.
But when you're bored and you sit there with a stone and a stick or with a sand, then maybe they take some time, but then they create something, and it can be very satisfying.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Because you find out something about you,
right?
Or you engage with someone. What are you doing? Nothing. You? Nothing. Okay, let's do nothing together. Which is already like something. You build up relationships, you build up friendships, you build up first loves and stuff.
Right.
So let's see how this thing goes. But if we go back to where we are at the moment, so we are at the peak, let's say, of this industrial revolution. That at the moment, I would say. The forefront is the artificial intelligence, but behind it there is lots going on, which is, as I said before, in my opinion, is great tools provided to humanity. And then how we use them, it's a completely different story. And we talk about this incredible industrial revolution, this digitalization process of our society, of our identity, of everything on the 4th dimension, which is much scarier in a way, because as you said, people are lazy. They're like, what do I have to do to see this meme, this video? Do I have to give up all my rights, all my freedom? All right, who gives a fuck? Funny, the cat is humping a dog. No. You know what I'm saying? But well, I'm exaggerating, of course. But the thing is that when are we going to start thinking that there is a hole to be filled, like this thing about the purpose, this thing about rhythm, this thing about nature? Because nature is my next big topic. I want to talk to you about it a little bit and see what you think. But a spiritual revolution is probably what is awaiting us in the next 10 to 20 years, because people will end up asking themselves, why am I doing this?
Right. Why am I
One day, I mean, it happened to me, it happened to you, it happened to him, it will happen to everyone.
Yes.
At least once in front of the mirror, asking themselves, why the fuck am I doing this? All day, every day, since I'm born.
Right. Because also life has changed and we develop, and I think it's also important that you have certain points in your life where you're not satisfied, and then I have to change something. And during my coachings, I see, for example, that's why I decided to also get psychology in the boat, is that I see only with the nutrition facts you can't help the people. I mean, if I see that you maybe have problem with eating, you lose weight, and I give you a plan, I say, okay, let's try. I have something very good nutrients that you can take. This will help you with your weight. But the problem is when you have in your mind problems over problems, there's like family problems. In your work, you're stressed, you don't eat. There are like really bad cycles going around in your life that affect your mind. It's not a plan, it's not useful.
No.
So I have to dig a little deeper, and I have to see, okay, what's really going on, and how can we do it step by step? And that's what I also wanted to say to the 5 regions is that we can adopt something into our own lives, our own busy lives, because when you really, maybe you get into meditation, you say, okay, I just try to give myself permission to have like 5 to 15 or longer minutes per day to meditate, to put myself out of this world, to just relax and to feel that I'm here, something like that. Or for the movement, you say, okay, I go around, maybe I have a dog. I go, which is a good thing to have a dog, because you have to go out, you have to walk. It's also very balancing. Or you take the steps, you take the stairs, and you don't take the elevator, something like that. So, because our body is meant to move. And this is also very important. And you get, the more you move, also moderate, you get happier. Your mood increases. And this is also something we can put in our lives like very easily. Because often clients, they ask me, but I have so many things to do, I don't know, and in the evening I'm dead, I want to sleep. And I say, yeah, but I see you have this appointment, you told me. Why can't you walk or go by bicycle? Or what do you think? Where can you put more movement into your life, your daily life? Or also with eating, when I say, okay, I have a plan for you, but just start with a simple step. Just start with something. Maybe you can replace something, and you will feel it makes you feel better.
When you do coaching, you see this as a. I mean, why people come to you, or how does it happen? What is the trigger point that tell Joe, I need some help?
Yes.
Or is that? I mean, they go specific, or is just like.
Depends. It's help, or it's just input. Or just they want some input in nutrition, or they want to see if they do it right or not. So I have people that have like chronic diseases where I have to check, okay, how is it going with nutrition? What can we do? How can we balance the lifestyle?
Then you dig, and then you find out.
Right.
So
that
yeah,
is
of course, it's therapy.
Yes.
It's like a psychology.
Yes, and others are more curious. They say, I drink Red Bull Cola every day. Is it good? Or something like that, you know?
Is it good? Yeah.
Just to check.
Spot on, man.
Can I go on with this? And they say, maybe we replace.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, so...
Ever heard of some water, my friend? If you're thirsty. Damn.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we can adopt easily some things that the 5 regions that they do like every day. Also the communication, also get closer to the family, to know that time is precious and that we...
Well, family, or at least build communities. Because maybe, at the end of the day, if your family is like 2,000 kilometers away and your life is settled here, let's say, well, start be social, but really.
Chosen family. They just say, okay, my friends are around.
Build up your own thing and feed it, fuel it, which is not easy. Because you need to find compromises.
Yes.
If you want to share your life with people.
Right. But it affects your health positively. Also, when you grow older, it's not so easy to make friendships. Often you build friendships in a special time of your life, and that's often the problem that we talked about, that when you're in a special age and you just focus on work or something like that, you think, where are my friends gone? Well, where are my hobbies? I don't know. Whom am I going to ask to go out or to speak or just to meet? And yeah, I think that's something that we can put in our lives daily and be aware of. Be more conscious with everything, with eating, with our relatives or our friends, with moving, also with the spiritual thing. Because I think
spiritual.
Also, right.
Exactly. This is something I wanted to tell you, because we are going more and more towards a godless, traditionally speaking, modern society.
Right.
But that God figure, in a way, in my opinion, is being replaced by nature, modern nature, the new goddess. And so we kind of entitle ourselves to do anything that the preachers of this modern nature cult is giving us, sometimes not realizing that we're going 100 k's an hour against a concrete wall. And I wanted to ask you, since nature is a fundamental trait of happiness and longevity, what do you think about this? I mean, what do you think is the relationship between man and nature?
I think you get really balanced with nature when you're used to it. I mean, when you grow up in a huge city, I realized, because I was living with a lady in New York, and she said, you know what, I love the city. I don't like nature. I love this. It also depends where you grow up, everywhere you can find spots where you relax, where you say, okay, that's fine. But I think nature has lots of good energy for us. When we just look at the green, at the trees, when we go barefoot, when we touch the earth, the sand, water, something like that, it gives us a good feeling. And so I think this is very important for everyone, to get a relationship with nature.
Totally agree with you, but there is one big but, and that is that nature by design is built to kill us. It will do anything to just get rid of the weak. You see what I mean? So illnesses, natural disasters, cold, predators, flaws, thunderstruck, lightning, you just name them. Everything, the insects, illnesses, viruses, bacteria, anything is around to actually challenge ourselves within this ecosystem. And so since we are an animal, let's say we are these animals that don't really have in their own body shelter. We don't have like furs and stuff. We don't have weapons, to protect and attack. We don't. So I mean, it's complicated for us to provide to live on completely natural in a completely natural raw environment.
Right.
We're not designed to that.
Right.
We need to provide ourselves with shelter, food,
right.
Protection,
right.
and all these sorts of fundamental traits to give us stability and happy living. And then we can build this relationship with nature, where you say, as you said correctly, walk in the sun, walk barefoot, get that energy from planet Earth and all of its, inhabitants, because at the end we eat animals, we eat plants, and then we give it back, and then we die, and then we get eaten, and then the cycle goes on and on. But the thing is that I find it extremely naive to just bend on our knees and pray for Mother God, for Mother Nature, the new goddess, that at the end of the day is not the point, in my opinion. In my opinion, we need to get back to this purpose, because now you hear some ideas, political ideas, some big, strong green agendas that they just say, we are the cancer of this planet. We are way too many. We are the number one cause of the planet will explode because of what you do and what you've done, etc. There is all this shaming, feeling guilty. You have kids clearly saying that it's unethical to give birth to a child in this world because it will pollute the environment. No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
This is those opinions too.
This is something that is increasingly coming up.
Yes.
And so the purpose of what is the purpose of your life? And what happens if the school where you send your kids start telling directly or indirectly, and then with the social media, with the media and everything, that we are the number one cause and we should all die so that the zebras can run around free.
But the thing is, you just can ask yourself, is it true? Because there are many opinions out in this world, and you just ask yourself, is it true? You can ask your question, is it reality? Is it true? No. Because many things are also out of fear. I mean, yes, there are many people in the world, and they get more and more and more, and they get anxious because there's no space, there are no the water, the food, or how we gonna all eat, But everything is out of.
And at the same time, you have an increasing double-digit growth of obese people.
Yes.
But
yes,
don't know where the food is. No, but then of course you have 2 billion people dying of starvation.
It's this huge. It's these extremes that we have in the world, and I would say, those are like opinions, and you always can check, is it reality or not? Because I think also in the medias, it's often fear-driven. When you hear the medias with all this negativity. It's
all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Come on, you remember?
I just listen to it. I pick my stuff. I'm still informed, but I just stop. As a kid, when I watched like the news or something like that, okay, it was like
factual.
But now it's like, one journalist says, this is bad. And he's, no, I have such this one is worse. My message is worse. I have the it's like, and what is really interesting, you have the positive movement where they say, we have positive news. So, and I rather watch this and say, wow, that's nice. So a neighbor helped another neighbor with, I don't know.
But you don't sell newspapers on good news.
Right, but
fear sells.
But it's right.
Yeah.
But that's in the society also with what you said. It's like, we destroy. Yes, but don't put that in your child, because it will grow and grow and grow with this child. Yeah,
but you don't want to put that in your child. But the world is throwing. So you need to be strong before you send him out of the house.
Yes.
So he knows that it's bullshit. Most of what happened, what gets him, most of it is okay, fine. It just happened like last week, I think, that I saw a weather channel in Germany where the figures, they were like 22, 28. There was somewhere where you've come from in Bavaria, 30 or 31 degrees, etc. And honestly speaking, for the first week of August, I think it's quite normal to have this kind of temperatures. But the color of the map was all red, turning into super red in Bavaria, and some yellow and orange, where it was 2021.
Yes.
Until 3-4 years ago, it was all green. Would have been all green, nice, with a nice sun, smiling at you. Right. Hey guys, it's sunny, have fun, go to the bush. Yeah, exactly. No, now you die. We burn to hell. And then on top of that, the graphics of the Weather Channel, they put underneath the map, they put flames coming up. They put flames coming up. I will try to find it and give it to Eric so that he can put it in the podcast. Yeah. It's insane.
Wow.
It's insane. And I'm asking myself, why the fuck are you doing this? Why do you need to scare people out like that? I mean, and I totally agree with you. You just don't listen to. You find your sources of information that give you what you need to know, and if you don't find them immediately, well, that's a good sign. It's probably true.
Right.
Right. So go dig deep. Inform yourself. Inform others if they want to listen. If they don't want to listen, okay, amen. Can't really save the world. Right. But at the same time, it's I would say that to find like some connections with those 5 regions and us, I would say that we cannot, in my opinion, go back to a way of living like those 5 regions. Right. As a big society, I mean. But what I think we should do is to reduce the size of everything. Instead of trying to find huge companies, huge countries, huge one world, new orders and stuff, one currency, one language, one religion. Well, rather it should be exactly the opposite, a fragmentation of societies that has a value. They should have like this sense of, I provide for myself, I protect myself, I protect my values, I'm open to exchange, you see?
So I can protect others because
exactly.
I'm stable,
Exactly. And we exchange, I need this, you do this, I produce this and you produce that, let's trade and find like that. All enabled by these new technologies that will help you actually be better, avoid a third party stealing from the exchange that we have, and then a sense of spirituality that I think it's inevitable that it will come back.
Yes.
Because sooner or later, I mean, all this question will bang.
The meaning of life.
The meaning of life.
Everyone searches what is my meaning of
exactly.
life.
Exactly.
What am I doing? And it goes back to your to your talents, to your hobbies, to what you can provide to the world. I mean, everyone is different. Everyone has special traits, special characters, special things that he or she loves that can contribute to a good community. And you can live and you can let others live. I think the tolerance is very... Also with the fragmentation, I think it's also interesting that we have something like that, but it should go with tolerance.
Yeah, tolerance,
others.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's without saying.
Yes.
But that tolerance is in both ways. I mean, if and like you, I've been the stranger many times in my life where I had to fit within a society,
right.
And it's not always easy, especially when I was in Malaysia. Completely different country. United States also. Similar but very different at the same time from us. Yeah. But what I found is that it's not easy to blend. Sometimes you have lots of resistances from yourself, from within, because you just don't But you do. You have to do it. You know. At the same time, when you welcome someone, you need to accept the fact that it's like marriages. I mean, it's compromising. I mean, okay, I give up something, you give up something. We find a way, and then I push a little bit, and then, okay, that was too much. And then you go up a little bit.
Yeah, right.
That's how communication is. Okay, are you happy with this? Yes, I'm happy.
Not starting a war and
Exactly.
destroying everything that we build. I mean,
but every day having these conversations. I mean, what do you guys want? Well, I want to watch the Champions League on Wednesday, okay? Okay, and what do you want? Well, I want you not to do this and that. Fine.
So next time, one time you choose, next time I choose. It's like
you always try to find which kind of arguments are worth fighting for.
Right.
And the other ones are just like, okay, who cares?
Fine,
I mean, fine. Makes you happy? Okay.
So next time it's my turn.
Exactly. Well, it depends.
It's okay.
It depends.
On the
exactly.
topic. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you can find solutions, but it has to be reasonable on both sides.
Right.
You know, and one cannot be, that I'm totally on, one within a community cannot be, let's say, totally cancelled. Or no rights, nothing, shut up, that's how it is. At the same time, it cannot be, I'm the new one, this is how we do it. If you don't like it, you are a and you start labeling people, you know.
Right.
It's,
you
know, you need to get in, be useful, try to find yourself a place where you can actually contribute. And then, when you're useful, people will see your value and then give you respect.
When you don't do harm to yourself or to others, I would say it's completely fine.
Absolutely.
You can tell your opinion, but just look that you don't do harm to yourself or to others.
Exactly.
That's, I would say is the best way to, you know.
When is your article going to be published?
I think it's going to be published in the next week or.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So by the time we're done with the editing and everything, I hope that you can send me the link so that we can put it on the description underneath. And if you have,
well, sorry.
We'll ask artificial intelligence to translate it.
I have to check that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Otherwise, in German.
Yes.
You know, that might be. That might be complicated, but we can still manage.
Swiss German, maybe.
Yeah. And to end up, where people can actually find you, and how does it work if someone, after listening to you, wants to actually have a chat with you, and just say, you know what, why don't we
have a talk?
Because you are based in
Germany.
In Germany at the moment. Things can change because you were in Lugano. We met when you were in Lugano back in what was it, 18? I think.
Yes.
2018.
Yes. I'm going back and forth.
Yeah.
I would say Switzerland.
Because we met for the Neue Zürcher Zeitung article, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's 2018.
Yeah.
Easy. Fuck, 5 years.
Yes. But good.
No, good. No, of course.
We get older, it's good. Every year, every minute, you have to be thankful.
No, I'm just thinking. It was 5 years ago when we had that conversation, that interview, and that's a long time. That's a long time. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
We build our friendship. Perfect.
No, of course, absolutely. But where can people find you? You have a website, social media?
I have a website, also social media. So
what is the website?
The website is peu français. It's papillon.com.
Papillon.
So
nice.
It's like the butterfly.
Yeah, the butterfly.
But it's with J-O, like Joe. Papillon.
Okay.
.com.
Nice.
So that's where they find all my articles, the work.
Excellent.
I have to update it, but it's still.
And then on social media?
Social media, Instagram.
Okay. We put the links in the descriptions.
Yes.
So that people can find you, easily find you, and then get in touch with you and see.
Yeah, it would be a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Joe, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing the secrets of the 5 regions. I hope that people could find some value
Yes.
in our conversation and maybe spark some questions
Yes.
in their minds and asking themselves what the hell is going on.
Right.
Don't think we're ready to go back to the roots
Right.
completely,
No.
but we need to get something.
To integrate.
Exactly, because
Yes.
sometimes in order to move forward you need to do a couple of steps backwards,
Right.
at least in certain elements,
Yes.
and then you can still go on.
Right.
But if you want to be strong, if you want to be happy, you need to be happy and old.
Yes. And care for yourself.
You
and
need to
so
take
you
care
can
of yourself and others.
For others.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
At the end of the day,
Right.
it's better to give than to take.
Right.
This is Jordan Peterson stuff. Hey,
Right.
Joe, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Francesco.
Thanks. That was great.